Udawat, Professor Rohana Chandrajit, and and I used to collaborate with all these researchers and get research grants to produce papers to contribute to advancement of science, and not only that, to produce a large number of academics with high quality PhDs. And then most of all these are actually I am now collaborating with these young academics who are actually my own products. Like Professor Herat, Rajapakse University, he did PhD with me, myself, Professor Andrew Knusing, and Professor Viranja Karnaratna, and Dr. Chaturanga, Dr. Nalin, Dr. Sanjeeva, Dr. Mantilaka, and now this is Dr. Herat. So they are my own products, but I am collaborating with them to help them establish their research career. So basically, I have worked in various areas of research, and research projects carried out in collaboration with local scientists, engineers. So I have collaborated with all these local scientists in many areas, starting from electrically conductive polymer liquid crystal systems. I went through electrically conducting polymer-based gas sensors, photodynamic therapy, photochemical mosquito control and pollution abatement, clay polymer nanocomposites, and oxygen reduction reduction cathodes for fuel cells. I'll come to that in a minute. This is a very, very breakthrough discovery we made, like using clay and electrically conducting for very cheap materials. We were able to replace platinum in fuel cells. So in place of platinum, very expensive and precious platinum, we were able to develop clay polymer nanocomposites, very cheap materials that work as good as platinum in fuel cell cathodes. And we have been working with dye-sensitized solar cells and perovskite solar cells. And we have been working in antimicrobial, stain-resistant, superhydrophobic, and anti-peeling textiles and gloves, and custom-made prostheses for orthopedic transplants. We established a real multidisciplinary research group comprising of scientists from our faculty, myself, Professor H.M. Bandara, Professor Kumar, Professor B.S.B. Karnaratna, and then the engineers from engineering faculty, engineering academics. I showed you the team of engineering academics, Professor Anavira, Professor Dr. Herat, Dr. Mrs. Herat, Professor Patirna, Mrs. Patirna. So, and also computer scientists, Dr. Darshini, Professor Darshiniapa, Professor Malka, and then biologists, Professor Rajapakse, Professor Tusita Herat, and then orthopedic surgeons, Dr. Suravira, consultant orthopedic surgeon of those days at the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital, and his team. We got together to develop custom-made prostheses for orthopedic transplants. That happened during the time of intense war, where I used to visit. I just visited Dr. Suravira because I had a very small pain in my ankle. Having got an X-ray, he said, "Oh, I mean, there's nothing in there. But you know, my biggest problem is the war casualties. He had hundreds of casualties full of our orthopedic wards. He said, I'm stuck with prosthesis to treat them, to transplant. So being a math person, I didn't know much about prostheses. So I took 2 prostheses from him and did XRF to find out that they're made of a stainless steel one. The other one is a titanium alloy, 90% titanium, 6% aluminum, and 4% vanadium. So I said, of course, I mean, these are made of stainless steel and titanium alloy. If we have these materials, why can't we make them here? So then I spoke to Professor Anavira from our engineering faculty, and Professor Jayanta Rajapakse from our faculty, and our computer scientists, and said, let's form a big research group to make this prosthesis to treat war casualties, particularly those army soldiers, those who ended up with the bomb crashes and then legless like that. I mean, those days it was terrible time. And we formed this research group. I'll show you later that we were able to learn each other's stars and make these prostheses to 1 micron accuracy. And then produce them at the engineering faculty and make them biocompatible by adhering, by sticking hydroxyapatite nanoparticles on their surfaces to resemble the actual prosthesis with polymethyl methacrylate to replace collagen, and then studying biocompatibility, toxicity, and all these things. And after getting ethical clearance, we were able to transplant 2 prostheses already in needy persons. So likewise, so you see now when there's a problem, so you as academics, it's your, I think it's our responsibility, our duty to do something to help that situation. For example, during the war, we formed this group and then we developed a technique and manufactured prosthesis. And we have pandemic, and then again, we think that it's our responsibility to do something to help prevent the spreading or whatever, help to do something towards that situation. Now, with this COVID pandemic, what we are doing now is like, I mean, so even during this curfew time, I fought. I spoke to the DIG also. I said, I can't stay at home. I want to go and do something in my lab to help prevent spreading of this disease. So then I got the permission for myself as well as my students, and we have produced a world-class face mask with 3-layer face mask, upper layer super hydrophobic, so that if any aerosol particle, any virus with aerosol particle sticks on it, it reflects.
Yeah,
and Professor Gamini, if it goes into, stop in a minute. By any chance, if it goes into the middle layer, and then the middle layer is a cotton fabric treated, I mean, you know, cotton has pores. So we have covered these pores with big microparticles, and then we deposited zinc oxide nanoparticles to kill this virus. So our recent study from ITI has shown that the zinc oxide nanoparticles can kill 99.99% of the both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. So we want these samples to Imperial College to do antiviral testing, which is very costly, like 13,000 pounds a test. Because I am an alumni, so they gave me a special rate like 5,000. So still it's 5,000 pounds a test. And the innermost layer is a very comfortable hydraulic layer, so that your breath comes out without much of a problem, giving you comfort. So this kind of masks are not available in the world.
Yeah, Professor Gamini, we can talk about it. We can come back. We can visit this question once again after when we talk about the opportunities that exist for collaborations in your group right now. So I would like to turn towards Professor Nalin right at this moment. So I should emphasize that both Professor Nalin and Professor Rajapakse have established their research programs in times where Sri Lanka was challenged economically as well as politically, but still through collaborations and bringing in cross-functional expertise, they've produced some wonderful publications and commercially viable products. So Professor Nalin, would you tell us about what opportunities exist in your group right now for collaborations and any joint publications that you have produced recently? See, you were talking about the opportunities for technology transfer that you are shooting at with the research that's going on in your lab right now. So do you welcome any University of Colombo or Peradeniya or Sri Lankan alumni in US or abroad to support you in that process?
Yeah, thank you, Mevan. Very interesting question. I have to tell a little bit on Peradeniya culture. Peradeniya culture, you know, it was created, like Gamini said, 30 years ago with Sultan Bawa. Is a hardcore scientist, and he loved assistant lecturers, even like you joined as assistant lecturer. But in Peradeniya as a culture, where the assistant lecturers are also supposed to continue their research. That was a brilliant culture Peradeniya had. We didn't have that culture, Mevan, in Colombo, I have to tell you. There were pockets, various pockets, like Professor Tilakaratna, good researcher. He's in Toledo at the moment. There are a couple of people in isolation doing, but as a vision to the department, we didn't have that research vision to the department, I have to tell you that. But Peradeniya, that's why Peradeniya has, so far, if you compare the faculty, you know, Peradeniya has about 5 to 6 people, about 20 index. But Colombo, we have only myself. Yeah, so that tells you the whole story. That is why Gamini can, you know, and also the Peradeniya is blessed with engineering faculty. You know, the when you shout from science faculty, they can hear. So it's a hand distance. You have the cream of people who are really with that Ivor Jennings concept research university like the Cambridge University. So that's advantage Peradeniya has, but we are trying to bring that culture to the department. I have now, as a head of the department, I am forcing everyone to do research. Especially, I am putting a lot of effort to bring the young generation, you know, young academics. You know, now, Mevan, I don't know whether you will ask that question. The people are short of ideas. They don't know where to start. You know, they are just hanging into a already established area where, you know, it's very important where now your question you ask, what type of collaborations you can offer for the other people before the cross-border collaboration. You know, it's internal collaboration. You can see Gamini's internal collaborations within the university and also outside university. And also it is very important where now Gamini's group is established, our group, myself and Rohini madam's group is established. Now where the people can now harness the potential from these groups. Our labs are open. I mean, we are ready to collaborate, but collaboration means that what is the new knowledge that you are going to bring it. That's very important. Just the use of instrument is not good enough. That I will do normally instruments free of charge. Even I don't expect authorship for that, you know. But what is the real collaboration in our group now? If you look at our group, we have already dropped the nanotechnology word. It's a buzzword, is gone now. You know, now we go as advanced materials. The next century is advanced materials. So we have now, like you at SLAKE, we managed to establish during that 7 years at SLAKE. I was very fortunate, Mevan. You know that SLAKE was it's a gold mine for us. You know, I published that 7 years, 50 international papers, including applied materials and interfaces. A first paper in applied materials and interfaces, I think, with all Sri Lankan authors without any outside collaborations. You know, that impact factor is almost 10 somewhere, applied materials and interfaces. So that's because even for that you need ideas, you know. So now our group is now research. Our PhD students are mainly focusing on water purification technology. You know, the big grant that Rohini won from NRC as a principal investigator, that was in US dollars terms, it's about 350,000 US dollars. That's a huge, it's a significant grant for a small university like us. I mean, that year, 64 applicants were there for NRC grant, and 2 went to Peradeniya. The only mega grant so far won by Colombo University is from the chemistry department. That we are proud of that achievement. So in that context, our main emphasis on the CKDU problem. You have the chronic kidney disease problem in the central province and other provinces, where water purification is an important factor. So we were concentrating on. We have 2 PhD students joining today, Veromi and Veromi will be submitting very soon, and Shanika also in the final year of PhD. That their aim was to deliver this grant is called the target-oriented research. And the other PhD student on Lalinka Herath, he is now at the moment is Australia. So we have gone into two directions, like, you know, giving a remedy for water purification using the advanced materials for water purification. At the same time, we are using the bioengineering side, genetic engineering, with Professor Anil Dasanayaka and Professor Dhammika Disanayaka, internal collaborator for our water purification project. Genetically modifying the bacteria and zebrafish to identify heavy metals, you know, through the fluorescence technology. The first time we have developed that unit, that is the contaminated water, easily you can identify. I am not showing those slides because, you know, the reason is this will go into the public domain. We are going to file that patent with that images and so on. So I'm not sharing that. That we have developed the prototype in our lab with the help of Ruchira Vijayasena, the famous scientist in SLAKE, you know, Ruchira. Yes, Ruchira. And the engineering part was done by him. So we have made the device. Now we are working with World Intellectual Property Organization to patent this technology, the instrument. At the same time, the idea on this transgenic bacteria and transgenic fish technology to identify the metal and pollution in contaminated water. So that's a dimension for our mega grant project. The other side is the material side. So we have done that. This other area that, so this is we are on that area. And the other one is the Umayangana is doing with the University College London with Gareth Williams on the electrospinning towards not just electrospinning and getting materials and testing on water purification. I think we are going with the real skin scaffolds, tissue engineering, transplant materials. So that kind of area that we are moving in. So, and University College London, we have Professor Shavanti also trying to collaborate with us, Professor Mohan Edri Singh also there, Professor Suvan Jai Singh, all our mechanical engineers became biomaterials engineers. So that's the beauty of the Peradeniya has that advantage where the chemist and the biologist can collaborate with the mechanical engineers and apply mechanical engineering principles to biology and becoming a bioengineering different field. So we are moving into that direction. So any area related to advanced materials, our labs are open, Mevan. Anyone from US or from Sri Lanka, and we are very happy to collaborate, because, you know, that's another important factor. The multi-author papers are the key for your success in the future, because I'll tell you that with a good reason. We love multi-author papers, because there was a time where single author papers. I also have a single author paper in 2005, which I no longer want to do it, because when I cite that paper, it is a self-citation, you know. But if you have 10 people in your paper, so but the authorship also we give with a significant contribution. Without significant contribution, we don't give. For example, if somebody now like Gamini's PhD student in Rajapakse University recently called me to get some Ajit Gamini, he called me to get some XRD from our lab. I said, feel free to use XRD, but I don't want to put my name into your paper because there is no significant contribution. We are just giving you. You can probably acknowledge my name at the end of the paper that the Center for Advanced Materials and Devices helped in getting an XRD, but not an authorship in the. But the multi-author papers are very important. So the collaboration within the group, within the university, the young academics, I give the best thing that you can get it from Gamini Rajapakse. You know, it is good to start the cross-border collaboration. To get the cross-border collaboration, first you have to establish yourself a little bit. Because if you don't have a track record, I don't think any big guns like the Chad Merkin or the Rob Langer from MIT will want to collaborate with you. Even we are now struggling to get Chad Merkin's help from Northwestern University, because we consider still we are not established. you know, the link come from, you have to select the link first at the collaboration internally first, establish a little bit, and then seek for smaller collaboration outside, and then go for bigger collaboration. And so it's with the timeline. Sometimes it's sadly people in this country don't appreciate the gems inside you and look for the outside. So that's my advice for the young academics, where, you know, look for the internal facilities you have, like for example now TEM, SEM, XPS, all available in SLAKE, you know, and Jayawardhanapura also, Peradeniya, Morato University. So the instrumentation wise, I don't think people want to collaborate with outside to get the instrumentation facilities, which is within the country. But what matters is, like Gamini said, the ideas, you know, getting the brand new ideas, pitch it to somebody and get a collaboration. So where you can get a very, very good, for example, now when we publish from University College London is top 20 in the world. School of Pharmacy is top 10 in the world in UCL. So with their names in author line, because the rejection from editors are very unlikely. Now, for example, we saw when we try to publish initially from FinTech, we get more rejection than acceptance. Now we get more acceptance than rejections, because now when it's a mill that you have to go through with these collaborations. You know, collaborations are very important. The only way, if you are working in silos, there is no future for you. You look for even students collaboration, and my humble request for students living in, you are no longer our students, you are now established researchers. How this SLAKE activity, where you are trying to connect the people to your alma mater and your country, it is very important. And it is very important you connect at after, because your term of reference must be having at least, you see the results after 4 to 5 years. Here we go, SLAKE did this, SLAKE did this. You know, you must have a slide in the just doing webinars, and you know, that's good thing to the start. But after some time, you must have results to show that SLAKE did this. So that is a real wonderful initiative Rishvi and the other people started. I think it will flourish. Yeah, we are there to help you for all your endeavors. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Nalin. So I think one of the questions that we wanted to ask from both professors was, what role can SLAKE play in catalyzing collaborations to both of you, as well as to the departments that both of you represent? And I think we had a question from Aravinda on the chat. It was also about, like, what role would faculty member, in terms of bringing in research ideas, what platforms are currently available in Colombo or Peradeniya University? So, and also, how do universities in Sri Lanka facilitate such discussions? So I would like to have answers from both Professor Nalin and Professor Gamini Rajapakse on that.
Okay. I nearly forgotten Aravind. Aravind also, thank you, Aravind. I mean, he is also our student, and now he's, you can see now he's at MIT, no, Harvard, sorry, Harvard. He's a postdoc at Harvard. You can see there is no such thing called you cannot achieve anything. You can start from a small place like the Colombo University, and we went to Cambridge, Gamini went to Imperial College. Why not the other people go to Harvard, MIT, and Oxford, Cambridge? You can do it, yeah. So it's very important. Our university perspective is, our university is mainly looking for collaborations. You know, recently we started Cornell collaboration, university-wise. You know, vice chancellors, from vice chancellor down the line, you know, we love to get collaborations, because it is where your webometrics ranking go up, and you know, the visibility of your university to the outside world, it's very important. But having said that, SLAKE can play a huge role in this. I will just mention few things. You know, yes, young academics, their role is to find the collaborator. But Mevan, Aravind, Rishvi, these days, the young academics have less ideas, I have to tell you. The reason is The people these days, I take the example, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and they are super readers, they read a lot during a day, even they are with busy schedule. So our academics, normally young academics, they don't read much, the moment you don't read literature, what is happening out there? Now you can't complain these days because the literature is in fingertips. There are various platforms I'm not going to mention. Even you have not subscribed to the journals, but there are other means we can get it. We can get help from other collaborators from outside. We can acquire the papers. So you must come up with ideas first. You must have brand new ideas for you. Once you have the idea, then you establish a small research question, and then you reach SLAKE. Here we go. I have this wonderful idea. I need some support from SLAKE. And then you can see that, a map, what is our requirement, and your SLAKE can't come to us. That I don't expect SLAKE can write an email to us and ask, do you need to establish a collaboration? No, I mean, if you have an organization like that, our guys must approach SLAKE and say, here we go, we have some fancy idea like this. We want to connect some people in this area. Can you connect someone in this area? So SLAKE can look for some avenues and connect. And then it is our job to, establish that. To do that, you have to have some kind of a small track record, that is very important. So establishing a collaboration is not very easy, Mevan. It's very difficult, but it is a hard work. It is, I put the ball completely on the scientist. It can be a junior scientist, it can be an academic, it can be a senior person, it can be a student. Our students are also sometimes capable. We sometimes don't know they have already talked to somebody outside and they have established a link and got some help, even for some difficult referees question. We want to get some help from outside. There are various, the world is too small. I mean, it's not big world now. We have to be very, we have to be aware that the artificial intelligence, all these things are shaping up the planet in next 20 years. All information is in fingertips. So the world is small. We recently wrote to some Nobel laureates to get some help for a research talk in the department. I mean, department has a program on interviewing world-class scientists by our fourth year students. Dr. Neranga is doing that program. You can see now. So that's now you need to come out and start the appetite for collaborations. Otherwise, like I mentioned, we have internal collaborations already you can establish with Peradeniya, Colombo, Jayawardhanapura. We collaborate with Jayawardhanapura also. We collaborate with Jayawardhana, our recent postdoc. She joined Jayawardhanapura Technology faculty. So we have, like Gamini said, our PhD students becoming postdocs and they go to a different faculty. So that is the collaboration we have started. So before the cross-border, you have to think of internal collaboration, establish, and then go for a cross-border, because cross-border, you have to understand that, and also when you go to cross-border, always they are ahead than us when it comes to the technology. I'm talking about the junior level. They are comparison to junior level to the other level, they are ahead. So you need to be very careful in selecting collaborations at your early career. So try to get the help from the internal scientists inside the country and establish yourself, and then go out, and where the SLAKE has a big role to play, connecting people to scientists, but scientists must have the appetite to do it also. Over to you, Gamini, for your
All right,
ideas.
thank you, Nalin. Yes, I mean, you have basically explained, answered the question quite comprehensively. And additionally, I want to add a little bit more onto that. Of course, we didn't have time to show my research collaborations with foreign universities in different countries. Of course, if I quickly tell you, I I have collaborated with UK initially, with Imperial College, UMIST, University of Bath, University of Central Lancashire, and then University of Liverpool, and produced large number of papers in very high quality journals like Journal of Materials Chemistry with impact factor greater than 7. And then, so like the UK was my second uh, country, and then moved to Germany. So I worked with with Professor Klaus Mühlen. You know, Professor Mühlen is the editor of the JACS now, Journal of American Chemical Society. So it's in the Max Planck Institute for Polymer Research. So Max Planck institutes are the highest grade research institutes in Germany. So if you work for 3 months, that's enough. With a very high class scientist like Professor Mühlen. And then I have collaborated with Japan. Several universities produce a large number of papers, and also we had a lot of student exchange programs. More than 10 students did their PhDs with joint research supervision with myself, Professor Bandara, Professor Ilekuruma, and Professor Kumara, and also Japanese scientists there. So they did their PhDs in Shizuoka University, and also with the NOPRAT program, I helped University Jaffna to establish a very high-class research laboratory and to get very with Professor Nalin also. We all visited this. We were invited to Western Norway University in Bergen, and we through our research strength. And the University of Jaffna was able to get a very high, very large grant, research grant from Norway to establish a solar cell research center there. So likewise, we help our sister universities also. So now SLAKE organization is doing a great job in popularizing what we do, and in sort of advising your fellow peers, fellow researchers to what to do to help your mother country, and also to help for their self achievements. So that is a great thing that you're doing. So I mean, I don't expect you to give monetary contributions or anything like that, but you can like connect your universities, University of Colombo, University of Peradeniya, Kalaniya, whatever, with the funding organizations in US. For example, USNSF. USNSF has a section where they try to give research grants to third world countries. So you can tap on these things, and also US Army. Like, I mean, now I have been contacted by them, but you know that there is a separate section in US Army research in Japan, the Japan office in Tokyo. So that is meant for giving research grants to Southeast Asian countries. And Todd Herrings is in charge of that. And Todd, apparently Todd has done his PhD, his BSc engineering from Mississippi University, and PhD in chemical engineering in polymer science from Southern Mississippi University. So, and Todd contacted me and actually requested me to apply for this research grant. And he helped me a lot in, so we are going to apply for this research grant in a very new idea, brand new area where I didn't see any publication in that area, where what we are going to combine is photon upconverting materials like lanthanide dot sodium yttrium fluoride materials with near infrared absorbing and emitting electronically conducting polymers, so that you can convert like IR photos visible to UV, UV to IR to visible. Likewise, you can do wonders with this changing photons from that to that. So if you can convert IR photons to visible photons, then of course, I mean, with the heat that you have in the night, you can illuminate without electricity. So that is, so we can just illuminate your room without electricity. That is the idea. So with these materials, say coated on your wall in internal wall in your room, you may be able to get the light without electricity with the up-converted infrared radiation. So likewise, these ideas are brand new. I mean, you never know whether they work or not, but I mean, if you on principle, if they theoretically, if they are possible, then you can go for that. I mean, that was a very pleasing idea for Todd, because no one has even thought about that so far. So therefore, like you have to have, as Nalin said, a brand new idea, meaning the expertise of yours with a little bit more than what you know, and also like to solve a big problem only. I mean, that is also very important. Your research idea should focus on solving the current world problem. So, so when you have these ideas, you can exchange your ideas to SLAKE organization, and you can connect researchers and universities of your mother country with other countries, through just like, I mean, you establish the connection, but you don't, we don't expect you to give any monetary contribution. So that is, I mean, there are research, very large research organizations, funding organizations to give funding. So don't think about contributing in monetary terms, but you can do a better service by like popularizing research worldwide, like the way you do, and also educating your people on what others do and how they can go forward. And also you also help these researchers, particularly younger researchers, not the established ones. I mean, they can get funding anyway. So younger researchers to start up. So in US, you call it a startup funding. So we give a startup funding, and so that from a research organization like US NSF or US Army or whatever the research organization. In Japan also, there JICA project and various projects are there. For which you can, in Korea, they have KOICA project. So we can, you can, as an organization, you can popularize this funding organizations among these junior researchers, and encourage them to apply for research grants. So that is a big thing. That's a very big, great thing that you can do, rather than yourself trying to give small funds to the people to do research. I think that's a very wise way that you can do a bigger service by connecting these younger people to the research granting bodies like JICA, KOICA, and other places. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Rajapakse. So I think we only have 5 more minutes. So we would like to take this time to thank both Professor KM Nalin de Silva and Professor Gamini Rajapakse. Both of you had like brought in the expertise that you gained in United Kingdom to Sri Lanka, started research, your own research groups in times that the country was economically as well as politically challenged, and still attracted a lot of contributions intellectually as well as more financially from both locally and internationally. And we are really proud about where you have to the level that you have built your research programs, where Professor Gamini Rajapaksa has addressed some pertinent national problems, such as the COVID-19 situation, as well as providing solutions to orthopedic surgeries during the war time that we had. And Professor Nalin has also looked in some crucial issues in Sri Lanka, CKDU issue, and also a couple of other areas in water purification, and also helping the rubber tire industry in Sri Lanka. These are all wonderful lessons that can inspire like people of any walk of life. This is about addressing nationally relevant issues and while remaining globally relevant. I think it's a great great message that we can leave to the audience. The questions that we were unable to answer today will get answered through email. So probably as a wrap-up message, I think we all can sort of condense everything down to think locally, but remain relevant globally by addressing issues in Sri Lanka, sort of, and also bring in and use that to use that as an opportunity to bring in expertise from the international arena. And we as SLAKE would be very happy to help in that process. Anything you want to add, Rishri?
Thank you so much, Mevan. Thank you both Professor Gamini and Professor Nalin for your time and for sharing your invaluable insights and thoughts. I would like to ask Nimasha to share the final messages we have.
Yes, hello everyone. Good morning, good evening. My name's Namasha Fernando. I'm one of the co-founders for SLAKE and one of our members in the US of Sri Lankan heritage, raised in the US. So before we end today, we would just like to remind you there's a few ways that you can get involved with SLAKE. First, we hope that you will become a member. So when a project or an opportunity that matches your professional interest comes to SLAKE, we will contact you personally. We contact our members personally to present them with the opportunity. Secondly, if you are seeking a collaborator or support for your project, a collaborator from the US or Sri Lanka, we welcome you to submit the connection request form. So by submitting this connection request, you share a little bit of information about your project with SLAKE, and then we will help you find someone with similar professional interests who can also support your project. And thirdly, something you can do in 2 minutes is subscribing to our monthly newsletter. As Malsha mentioned earlier, this is a great way to get monthly updates from SLAKE and monthly opportunities directly to your inbox. And of course, please follow us on the social media listed below. And our last note, if you would like to know more about SLAKE, what we do, what our plans are for this year, and what we're doing to mitigate the impacts of brain gain and brain drain in the US and Sri Lanka, we welcome you to attend one of our 2 upcoming information sessions in February. Feel free to register for either session at the link you see on the flyer here. You'll also see the links to register popping up in the chat box soon. But once again, we'd like to thank our speakers for the great information and insights that they've shared today. And thank you everyone for staying on. But I'll pass it back to Rishvi for a final closing message.
Thank you, Nimasha, and I would also like to thank everyone who took part in the webinar today, and especially much grateful to President Nalin and President Gamini. I know you are really busy with your schedules and you have many students that you mentor, so we really appreciate your time. Would you like to add any final remarks, professors?
Thank you, Rishvi and Mevan, Marsha, and I think Nimasha for inviting both of us. Gamini is a good friend of mine, and I forgot to tell that Gamini helped me to come to this level in various places. I have a great respect for Gamini as a scientist, where he loves to help people. So you need to find those people for collaborations. And I wish the SLAKE to go from strength to strength and to be more successful. And now we are trying to stop the brain drain to some extent. But in the future, I'm sure you will create a culture where we would also like to be like Singapore, where our academic staff, the PhDs are from Colombo University or Peradeniya University, and we are in the top 20 in the world one day. Yeah. So with that note, that thank you very much for all your effort, and wish you all the good luck and good health and be safe under COVID pandemic situation, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much for inviting again for me and Gamini. Thank you, Rishwi.
Yeah, Nalin, I don't have to repeat all the words that you said. So same here, I'm wishing you all the very best and stay safe. And it's a very great thing that you're doing. And what you have forgotten is actually in Sri Lanka now, we are, the industries also are also approaching us. So perhaps your next, one of the webinars would be I mean, I can, because I'm a consultant to like 6 major industries in this country. So it's Nalin. So how does, I mean, that was not the tradition in this country before. So now
Yeah,
that
good point.
realize that, so they are coming behind us. So next webinar would be to discuss how you collaborate with industries in Sri Lanka. So that is also very important in improving the national economy of the country. So in that way also you can help us. We can help you to show how we have established industrial collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that's a very valuable suggestion, and we will surely reach out to both of you for a webinar session as such. I think we can surely do something along those lines. So thank you again, everyone. Like we mentioned before, we will upload this to our YouTube channel. Thank you, Mevan, for moderating. And we will see you soon in our next webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.